Hi friends, good morning. Good morning, IIT Bombay. Am I audible? Hi Muskan, Prakash, Soumya, Keshav, Sai Teja, and rest of my friends from IIT Mumbai. Hi Richie, Karan. Friends, am I audible? I'm just waiting for a minute more because there were some 120 students already logged in. Hi Shikhar, thank you. Thank you for closing the loop. Hi Shahin, Jay, Shivam, Rupesh, and rest of my friends from IIT Mumbai. Good to have you guys here on a Wednesday morning. So thank you so much for taking out time early in the morning. I believe this is the first session we are going to have. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for those warm welcome and greetings early in the morning. Much appreciate. Hi, Vivek, Govind, Udit, Divya, and rest of my friends from IIT Mumbai. Guys, thank you so very much. I think we are already 117 students and we are good to go. So without further ado, let me get into our main point of discussion today. I hope most of you are back in your campus or still operating home. Still learning processes happening from your respective hometowns. Pradeep, thank you. Thank you, Amar. I hope I'll do justice to your level of excitement. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sweta, for closing that loop. Now I have an understanding that you're not back in your campus as yet. But yeah, that's fine. Absolutely. Thank you so much, friends, again for taking out time early in the morning. Okay. So without any further ado, friends, my name is Anil and I'm a practicing CHRO. This has been my 24 year of practicing HR all through in different sectors. God has been very kind. I have not repeated any sector. Started with manufacturing, started my career with manufacturing sectors, worked for companies like Denso, worked for companies like Enercon, and friends, typically working for a Japanese manufacturing giant helped me out in understanding the nuances of manufacturing practices. So when you talk about Kanban, Kaizen, TPM, TQM, 5S, so on and so forth, the manufacturing practices, genuinely, if you want to understand, there cannot be a better sector, of course, than manufacturing. And on top of that, most of the manufacturing sectors, when I started my career, had somehow trade union activities. Yeah, so dealing with trade unions, going for collective bargaining, understanding the nuances of manufacturing practice, that has been my biggest learn. Then my second assignment was hospitality and hotels. And I was very fortunate to get an opportunity to work for world's third best hotel, every year, as per Condé Nast, they carry out some survey, and consistently, I tend to believe even today, Oberoi Rajvilas in Jaipur continues to be world's top 5 hotel. So brilliant experience in terms of understanding how everything centers around guest centricity or customer centricity, the competency which most often we talked about it, but I have seen this, how irrespective of the fact whether you're front of the house or back of the house, how everything that you do in hotel industry, in hospitality, how that centers around guest delight, achieving guest delight. That was a phenomenal, great experience for me. From Hospitality Oberoi Group, I joined Patni Computers, the IT services company. It doesn't exist today. Patni got acquired by iGate, and iGate got subsequently acquired by Capgemini in a very short span of time, almost in 2 years time span, and was very fortunate to play the role of head of HR for Southern Zone, operating out of Hyderabad, but was accountable for Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai. Yeah. From there, the UK retail giant Tesco in Bangalore, and typically the understanding of .com business process, supply chain management, yeah, the importance of how a company like Tesco has passed technology in the hands of man, in the hands of customer. That was a phenomenal experience. From there, my first CHR assignment was with Just Dial in Mumbai, then in Bangalore. Then my next assignment was with Fidelity National Financial, the New York Stock Exchange listed company, based, the headquartered in Jacksonville in Florida. From there, it's been glorious 4 years and 7 months now, working for Magic Bricks as the Chief Human Resource Officer. So, friends, in very short, in a nutshell, that's my career journey. But before I end this part of our discussion, very important to let you know that Magic Bricks belongs to a group which is popularly called Bennett and Coleman. It's a 180-plus-year-old group, and I'm sure most of you are aware, Magic Bricks is part of Times of India group. So, friends, when you open the newspaper, what are the segments normally we see? We see entertainment, we see economic-related news, we see sports, matrimonial, real estate, jobs, so on and so forth. Now, the realization about 2 decades back was the future is of digital. And hence, today, if you talk about Ghana.com, Radio Mirchi, ClickBuzz, or maybe, Times Job, or Magic Bricks, each one of them are separate P&L, are separate entity. And cut to Magic Bricks, it's 16 plus years in its operation, and it's a profit-making entity. 2 years back, we broke even, and it's a profit-making entity now. Yeah, headquartered in Noida, Film City, Noida. That's where you see the Times House, with the Times Now studio, Radio Mirchi, and all of that. And on the third floor of the same building is where Magic Bricks is. So precisely that's how my career has been. And the reason why I thought I should take you through my career journey is very simple. I wanted you to know any example, any experiences that I'm going to share today will have reference to one of my previous company. Yeah, what I have felt, what I have seen. So I would not be talking on air, but these are the practical experiences that I have come across. And I hope that that will make sense. And what good looks like is, by end of this 45 minutes or 1 hour kind of a session, if each one of you walk out with at least 2 learning outcome, then I tend to believe that the program is success. Yeah, you taking out 1 hour, me taking out 1 hour in the morning is meaningful when all of my friends from IIT Bombay, they walk out with at least 2 learning outcome. Yeah. And in order to meet that objective, we need to start discussing about our core or our focus point of discussion. And what I will try and do right now is I'll give you a 30,000 feet drone view of the the current landscape that we all are in, or the times that we currently go through, how does the situation outside look like? What are the current trends? How the landscape looks like? And once we know these are the trends that is emerging, then probably that will help us out in terms of building competencies or preparing ourselves around that. Yeah. With that intent, without further ado, let me start sharing the first observation or the first trend that I'm seeing all around us. Okay. So, friends, we all are going through unprecedented times, right? And I call it the biggest humanitarian crisis ever. Yeah. Right now. And that is in the form of COVID-19 situation. COVID-19 situation, friends, has, I'm sure it's in public domain, all of us are aware. The first trend is it has created plenty of workplace flexibility for all of us. Now, when I'm talking about workplace flexibility, I'm not only hinting at work from home, I'm also hinting at concepts like work from anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we will go and we will discuss about those workplace flexibilities, which would be our number one learning lesson for the day. Yeah, number one is plenty of workplace flexibility. Yeah, now when I'm talking about workplace flexibility and work from home, friends, this is nothing new. Work from home as a concept was even existing before the pandemic, before pre-COVID era. But what it did now is it changed the way managers, leaders used to look at work from home. Earlier, people will say, what is work from home for marketing, for HR, for finance? Yeah. But during this pandemic, it completely changed the mindset. When we all were forced to observe lockdown, still wanted to ensure business continuity is not hampered, that's when we realized when it comes to workplace productivity, workplace efficacy, does not matter which function you belong to, you can equally be productive. Yeah. Cut to today, everybody, that has become a norm. Think of the situation almost maybe a year and a half back, and I still remember my daughter who was in fifth standard last year. Initially, when they went online, the teachers were also struggling with Microsoft Teams or Google Hangout or whatever it is. Cut to today, everything runs on an autopilot mode. So work from home has changed the mindset, that kind of a flexibility. I tend to believe future will have, or organizations of future will have more such flexibility norms. Why? Because there are plenty of benefits, but let me try and summarize some of the key benefits so that it is also very easy for our understanding. I call it the acronym I've developed, and now I call it STOP. Yeah, these are the benefits of work from home. S is for social distancing. Yeah, the times that we are going through, friends, the only way you and I can ensure safety is to maintain social distancing. That's why, when I asked you question, are you guys back in your campus? You said no. Learning is happening, but from our respective hometowns. Yeah. So typically for people like you and I, to ensure safety during the pandemic time, we need to maintain social distancing. That's why we are not crowding up places, and learning is happening from our respective hometowns. That's the first benefit. Yeah. Social distancing in the stop. T is for travel time or the commute time. Commute from home to office and office to home. And mind you, friends, it's a proven fact, does not matter which city you belong to, on an average, we spend 20 to 30% of our productive time commuting from home to office and office to home back. And it takes a toll on our productivity level. Now, during pandemic time, during work from home kind of a flexibility mode, you don't need to commute. And hence, the assumption is your energy levels will not be drained. Yeah. And hence, the assumption is probably the productivity level will go high. Yeah. And Mind you, it's a win-win proposition for both the stakeholders, employer and employee. How? Employer, organizations don't need to spend money on your commute. Otherwise, huge money spent on commute or transportation that is not required right now. And for employees, I don't need to commute. I can stay at home and still can ensure that work is not hampered. So it's a win-win proposition, and hence I tend to believe organizations of future will have more such flexibility now. Third thing in the stop mnemonic is O. O is for office occupancy. Friends, gone are those days when corporates would be boasting about, hey, I have got 25 acres campus. No. When there are crises, organizations would least want or prioritize around building infrastructure. Yeah. Or building, campuses. No, that's not the priority. And think of plenty of startup organizations. There, this is the era of co-working spaces where the corporates got to be investing minimum amount, and it gives flexibility to people. You can connect. I do understand work from home also suffers from certain demerit, like not necessarily everybody has their home office, not necessarily the internet bandwidth in 4G era is great enough. But just to address those challenges, organizations have gone ahead and given a pass. You can log into any of the co-working spaces in your area, so that you don't have a space constraint or a infrastructure or an internet bandwidth constraint, right? That is what organizations are doing today. And hence, and I'm saying O is for office occupancy. Finally, P is for pollution level. When the manufacturing activities were halted, less number of vehicles plying on the road drastically brought down the pollution level. Any city in India, friends, pollution still remains as a big challenge. But think of old age people. Think of people with asthma related ailments. For them, it was a great time, and it made all of us realize that true development would be, or holistic development and growth would be, also taking care of minimizing carbon footprint, minimizing pollution levels, taking care of all the stakeholders in the entire process. So that was very, very important. So broadly, because of those benefits, I tend to believe that work from home is here to stay. Now, my counter narrative to this is, why work from home? Organizations of future will pay more attention or on values like meritocracy and strong performance management system. When they have organizations have strong performance management system, it does not matter whether you are logging in from the beautiful beaches of Goa or you are going to work punching in and punching out 10 hours every day. That is immaterial. So long as you fulfill the commitment you made in the form of KRA, in the form of objective, if you can meet up that objective, that suffice. Organizations of future are not worried about your punch in, punch out time. They will see what you committed, where are you in terms of your contribution to the organization. Did you move the needle positively? If yes, absolutely, HR, your managers, leaders, organizations are absolutely fine with that. And that's going to be the trend. And that's leadership learning lesson number one. That organizations of future will move from work from home to work from anywhere. Does not matter so long as you fulfill your commitment. Now, friends, for student community, what does this mean? For student community, for all of us, it means that the competition, the scope of the talent pool is increasing day by day. Why? Because globally workforce is right now your talent pool. Why? Because anybody can connect from any part of the world. Geography does not matter. Only the competency that matters, and the commitment. As against that commitment, what did I do or what did I not do is what organizations are going to focus on. That's the trend number one. Friends, second trend that I am observing is the new kids on the block. When we talk about multi-generational workforce, we started talking about baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, otherwise known as millennials, right? Till yesterday, that was the talk of the town. But today, the new kids on the block are not your Gen Yers or millennials. They are often regarded as Gen Z. And who are these Gen Z? Gen Z are the people born after 1995. Yeah, these are the new kids on the block. And why I'm saying this? Because by and large, friends, any organization that you pick up today, and new age organization, the average age hovers around 28 to 32. Yeah, relatively young bunch of people. And mind you, 70% of the workforce will have people in Gen Z category. Now, what it tells me or tells rest of the generational, multi-generational workforce, it tells the fact that the dynamics, the demographic are significantly changing. And hence, I cannot tend to operate the way I used to operate before. Yeah. And I cannot tend to have a mindset of maybe a baby boomer or Gen X, then probably the connecting with Gen Z becomes a challenge. Hence, I need to reboot, reorient my workplace strategy. For example, for a CHRO, probably when I started my career, the fun at work, I'm just giving one silly example. Fun at work means kite flying or rangoli competition. That does not excite Gen Z. They say, why not live rock band on the floor every weekend, every Friday evening? Or why not you give us dating allowance? Why not you give us movie pass? These are the things, that is what fun at work means. Employee engagement similarly have got different meaning for different generation of workforce. So bottom line, all the story in summary, what it means is it is high time all of us who are party to an organization's success, irrespective of the age group, need to get on to adult kind of a mindset, not a parent, because Anil is the CHRO and I am the entry level guy. So all the time, I would be listening to what Anil has to say. No, it is meritocracy driven company. Whatever you are saying, if it has a merit, that should take precedence, not necessarily who is saying what. Yeah, that is the kind of change we are witnessing in corporates, and it's here to stay. It's here to gain even significant momentum in the times to come. That's trend number 2. And hence, every organization need to reboot, reorient their workplace strategy. Every manager or people who are, let's say, in a leadership position right now, by virtue of their years of experience, need to now think, behave, and act like a Gen Z if they have to be in the race, in the competition. That is changing very, very significantly. Third trend, friends, I tend to believe, by and large, I'm not, this is not industry agnostic, but by and large, across organizations, the number of employment activity, full-time employment activity, might slightly get slowed down. Though everybody, there is mass exodus and plenty of hiring happening all around us. I'm talking about growth positions. I'm talking about new positions or new hiring, not the backfill ones. By and large, the hiring activity might slightly get dipped, at least in the 8 to 12 months time. Now, what it means is, for full-time assignment, it might come down. But in parallel, what it will do, Anvesh, what it will do, Siddharth, what it will do, Kadam, is this will give rise to an economy which I called gig economy. And mind you, friends, third trend is about gig economy. This economy will see significant importance and will flourish like never before. Why do I say that? Here are the data points. Mind you, friends, globally, gig economy will touch $4.5 trillion business. It's a huge. Cut to India, it's going to touch $450 billion in the next 6 months or so. And the good news is India already features amongst world's top 3 nations who are extensively using gig workers. After US and China, number 3rd is India. Then comes Mexico and Japan and so on and so forth. Now, what I'm hinting here is every organization now need to reorient their workplace composition, their workforce composition. Organizations of future will have, because there are cost pressures. Any pandemic brings in a lot of cost pressures, and full-time employment opportunity adds on to that. And hence, organizations, in the name of optimization, in the name of maximum productivity, will have to recompose their workforce. So it will have full-time employees, contractual staff, and gig workers, temporary on-call specialized services called gig workers, plus you will have interns and so on and so forth. That composition every organization is now focusing on. And friends, when I'm talking about gig workers, what do I mean? I'm not only referring to a Uber driver or a Ola driver or Amazon delivery guys alone. I'm talking about digital marketing expert, data scientist, merger and acquisition specialist, and all specialized functions, maybe a CHRO or chief learning officer, all of that. And this is in high demand right now, Divyans. Nimmagadda Sai, this is in demand. So hugely, already we have seen there is a surge to the tune of about or approximate 30% in the last 6 months as far as the demand of gig workers are concerned. Now, friends, it's very important for us to also understand what's in it for us. And why does this happen? Gig worker, there is a demand. Why? Because there has been plenty of job losses at a senior level. Why? Because they are already at a high salary bracket. And when we go through a pandemic, not necessarily every organization can afford to pay the salaries for plenty of senior folks. And hence, those senior guys are in the market. On the contrary, when you talk about the young people, their mindset is, I'm not married to a company. I'm a subject matter expert. I'm a data scientist, or I'm a Hadoop specialist. And that's my specialty. And I don't mind hopping or working simultaneously for 3 companies. And I have made up my mind, 9 months or 10 months in a year I'll work, and 2 months, I don't want to work. So long story cut short, friends, young people want also flexibility. Senior folks, they feel that, okay, I've been there, done that, let me create something of my own. Because of that, these people are there in the job market. And hence, I tend to believe the scope of, the 4th learning that I want you guys to take away today is why for all, who is your competition? People say, philosophical statement, they say that, no, my competition is only with myself. You're right. That's fine. But mind you, when we are talking about a competition, your competition is not necessarily confined to IIT Bombay. You are competing with ISB, competing with IIMs, competing with FMS, competing with plenty of people in India and in Australia, UK, China, Japan, US. The whole world is now connected, and in the era of work from anywhere, you need to ask this tough question to yourself. And the question is, why should anybody hire me? Ask this question. It's never easy, but the sooner you try and find out answer to this, the better you are prepared. Kadam, Sai Sandeep, Divyansh, Shruti. So the point I'm trying to ask, or the question that I have in my mind is, why should anybody hire you? When people ask this question, what they want is, what is so unique about you? Meaning, what is your unique value proposition? Now, in other words, friends, this boils down to the question, what are your strengths? People want to know, how can you add value to my company? Now, you can say, hey, Anil, it's easy for you to come online and give gyan. But are there any ways, are there any tips and tricks how I can understand what I'm good at, which is scientific, not a gut feeling, but data driven or scientific? Answer is undoubtedly yes. If you Google, you can find out. There are tools and techniques like, say, for example, Gallup Strength Finder, or maybe Johari Window, or maybe strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat, SWOT analysis. Or if you don't believe in this thing, I'm sure you have your close buddies, your family members whom you trust. Ask them. They would have observed you, and they would come up with what they felt your strengths are. Collect all of that together, and you need to really focus on your core strength, which will be a differentiating factor. Yeah. When Shruti, you need to identify how can you be unique in compared to Divyans, in compared to Sai, in compared to let's say Siddharth or Anil. What's your unique value proposition that you only can find out? Tools are available. Once you do that, leadership learning lesson number 5. World Economic Forum, the founding chairman, Klaus Schwab, the best-selling book titled Fourth Industrial Revolution, when he talked about how the fourth industrial revolution is going to see Internet of Things, machine learning, 3D printing, so on and so forth. Very important also to understand by 2025, in the same breath, he says, by 2025, the following skills are going to be in huge demand. And about savvy or digital orientation of mind. But don't worry, you guys being born and brought up in high-speed internet era, that comes to you naturally. That's your core strength. And the world is full of information. Do I have the ability to derive insights out of this data? Is very important. If yes, then you are a winner. Or probably you have fantastic oratory skills and presentation skills. Create a concept, make a presentation, create your own YouTube channel, and create visibility for you, because your strength is your presentation skills, your oratory skills, your conceptual clarity, your ability to articulate and put across. Whatever may be the strength, first step in the entire process of creating USP for you, friends, is understand what is your strength. Once you understand your strength, build things around it, and definitely people will make a note of who is Shruti, who is Sai Sandeep. Yeah, don't worry about that. People will make a note. And the other competency, very, very important and my personal favorite, beyond a level, this is very important, is personal branding and networking competency. Yeah. How well you are connected in the world is gaining momentum, friends. And mind you, all the things that I talked about are unwritten competencies, meaning not that you won't find them in job description form, but are the competencies which will give you a competitive advantage, like growth mindset, problem solving, design thinking, yeah, predictive modeling or analytics, so on and so forth. Very, very important for us to focus on these competencies. Yeah, that's the 5th one. 6th leadership learning lesson for the day is, friends, the pandemic also has taught us few ground rules. Yeah. Number 1, the true test of character for a leader, for a company, for an organization is, how do you behave when your chips are down? In pandemic, we have seen plenty of job losses. organizations firing left, right, and center, deferring the date of joining, or no increments. Is that a great thing to do? No, it is not. To the extent possible, but in certain organizations who are not blessed, who do not have a strong cash reserve, P&L balance, are forced to ask certain category of people to move out. Now, if it is inevitable, by all means try and do that. But what got to be learned is treat people the way you would like to be treated. Yeah, you cannot afford to demean the dignity of labor because you are going through a tough time. Yeah, by all means, with right intent, with proactive communication, if you go ahead, talk to people, people would understand and appreciate. And hence, I made the statement, which is leadership learning lesson number 6, is how did you behave? How do you behave when you are going through a tough time will determine the kind of flight you are going to take in future when things are back to normal. Yeah, in good times, we organize offsites, we do picnic, we give good increment, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we go for full full page jacket advertisement. We talk that how we are world's #1 hospitality group, but one pandemic, the whole thing comes down, and treating people are ill treated. That will not take your organization, and that's absolutely no when you talk about institution building as an intervention in companies. Yeah, so that is very important, and hence very important also for us to know treating people the way we would like to be treated is very important. Yeah, and friends, we are talking about fourth industrial revolution. Still, in the era when everybody is talking about, hey Anil, tell me what is important to you, high tech or high touch? Yeah, that would remain a dilemma, friends. There is no other shortcut. If you are not properly tech enabled in the era of fourth industrial revolution, what Klaus Schwab talks about, then you would miss the boat. And hence, not being technically advanced is not a strength at all. Definitely, you got to be. However, there cannot be any shortcut to high touch. We are in human resource area. Any people manager, even if you are not in human resources area, you have a team to manage. By all means, you need to know high touch has to be a priority. Personal touch, empathy, compassion are the elements which you cannot think of deep meaning, or cannot think of not giving importance to those aspects. It's very important. Last, 7th one, friends, crisis in our lifetime. This is nothing new. In 1990s, we have seen the Great Depression. Now, we are talking about COVID-19, the pandemic situation. I want you to know this is not the end of the crisis. You will see plenty of crisis even in future. Hopefully not in the form of a pandemic, but the crises are here to stay. They will keep on coming. Yeah, we do not have any control on that. What we can do is open our ears and eyes, observe the trends, prepare ourselves. Why? Any crisis, friends, is a boon for some, bane for some. For example, the COVID-19 situation is same. It's not different. For sectors like manufacturing, hospitality, travel, tourism, hugely they are negatively impacted. On the contrary, friends, think of healthcare, think of education technology, think of grocery delivering companies. They have done phenomenally well. Yeah. So situation is same. No need to play victim card or feel victimized. Situation would remain same. How well you can grasp, how well you can prepare yourself for future is very important. Yeah. With that, one example. normally in HR and psychology, friends, we talk about a situation and we say for any crisis situation, friends, there are only two immediate reactions. A crisis hits us, only there are two instant natural reactions. One, we call it flight. The other one, we call it fight. I'll give you an example. You're very scared of stray dogs. You're walking in a deserted lane, let's say in Mumbai. Yeah. And you suddenly realize you have been chased by stray dogs. What do? You're very fearful of stray dogs. Number one, instant reaction is run as fast as you can. That will be the first reaction. Yeah. Number two is turn around, pick up a stone or a stick, and try to scare the stray dog away. Don't hit, scare the stray dog away. The example of running out of the situation is called flight. That's an option, definitely. The other one is called flight or fight, meaning taking the problem head on will give you unparalleled confidence level. Yeah. And taking a crisis head on is the right approach for professionals like you and I. Why? Because flight is not an option for professionals like you and I. We will come across personal, professional, family related crisis, but true test of character is taking the problem head on. Bhagoge, to kahan tak bhagoge? There would be a difficult boss, there would be a difficult company, there would be a difficult thing, situation outside, maybe. And hence, flight is not an option. Fighting out and taking the problem head on is the option. Yeah. With that, I thank you for your patience, for the time. And out of the 7 or 8 leadership learning lessons we talked about, as I said in the initial introductory talk, that even if each one of you have got 2 big takeaways, I tend to believe that that is success. Yeah. With that, I pray and hope all of you should get job or internship of your choice. And I want you to stay positive, stay strong, stay positive, but test negative, COVID negative. Okay. With that, friends, thank you so much. Let me know, how did you find the session? Was it meaningful? Did you learn anything out of this? And if you have also any question that you want me to answer, I'll be more than happy to answer that. Over to you, friends. Thank you, Naik Bhai. Thank you, Richi Misra. Now, friends, I don't know how many of you have gone through my YouTube channel called Dr.HR. I started this during last pandemic, meaning last year, when the first lockdown thing happened. I said my 24 years of experience saying that is meaningless if I'm not able to share my experiences with young minds like you. And hence, every week I make it a point to post one video and do such sessions, at least for 2 B schools. Please, friends, I'm 48 now, and at 48 also I need some support, some encouragement. People who have not visited my channel, please do visit, and I'm sure you would love the content there. And please do subscribe and encourage me. There are 130 friends from IIT Bombay, and at least I expect I'll have 100 new subscribers today. So please do subscribe to Dr.HR, and that's how we can also stay connected, and we will ensure that learning never stops. Yeah? Make sense, friends? Fantastic. Again, friends, please do subscribe to Dr.HR and encourage me to do well at 48. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care and all the very best.